Hey everybody, my name is Sarah Lean and I'm a Senior Cloud Advocate at Microsoft. That means that as part of my job I create content, whether that be presentations, videos or blogs or anything else in between that. And I've been doing that for about 2 years as my job. Now what I have been doing as well though is been creating content in my spare time. So I think I've had a blog and a YouTube channel for probably at least 6 years. And I've used both of them off and on, and over that time I have learned a lot of tricks. I've learned a lot of tricks about being efficient, about creating content and how to make the best use of your time, especially if you're just doing creating content as a side hobby or as something to an end goal if you're looking to become something else in the long run. So what I want to do in this video is try and share some of my tips and tricks to help you create content more efficiently. Now, the first bit of tip or information I want to give you is if you have something that you're doing, try and reuse it. So recently I've been building a presentation about networking within Azure. So talking about the networking things like Azure Load Balancer, Front Door, Application Gateway, a whole host of things that I've learned. I've set up a lot of demos in order to do that one presentation. Now, what I've also done with that is create blog posts and videos, reusing the content or sharing some of the things that I went through in order to build some of those demonstrations. So the presentation was a kind of one-off and I spent a long time on that presentation. I probably spent maybe 5 or 6 days in total actually building the presentation, building the slides, learning the talk track, building the demonstrations, and I'm wanting to reuse that. I don't want that 5 days or 6 days worth of content that I've created to just be a one-off. I want to reuse that and try and, take that, the information and the knowledge that I learned from those 5 days and spread it out across the various different platforms and various different audiences that I have. I think I reached about 500 people with that presentation, which is a great number. However, there's obviously a lot more people out there that potentially want to learn about these different technologies. So I want to share that knowledge that I've learned and the information and things that I did during that presentation building to try and reach more people. So the presentation has resulted in several other blog posts and several other videos. So reuse your content or try and find places where you can, leverage something that you've learned to recreate something else as well. Equally, if you find that, you have a really popular blog post, say for example, maybe look at creating that into a video, because if you're writing like a technical blog, chances are you've had to, build something, you've had to try something, you have a script maybe that you've written in order to solve that problem that you've blogged about, and you can reuse that in a video so you can start to reach a different audience, because often you find that people who maybe learn through blogs, that's great, but then not everybody does, because some people prefer to go to presentations and be able to interact with a speaker around that topic, or they might want to learn in video when they're, slouched on the couch and watching some YouTube on their TV at the end of the night. So try and extend your audience, try and reuse your content and make that effort and that time that you've put into creating maybe one bit of content actually circulate around all of the different audiences and platforms that you have available to you. So another thing that I have learned over the time is to build up a kind of repertoire of presentations. Now, I have been public speaking for several years now, and I know I still have a lot to learn about public speaking. But what I've done is every year I try and start off the year with a bunch of presentations, maybe 3 or 4 presentations that I reuse and build on throughout the year. And that way I'm not having to learn a new talk or a new presentation every couple of months to speak at something new and something different. Now, yes, that does mean that I am reusing content for various different user groups, and if you attend a user group, you might see the exact same talk as you maybe heard 3 months ago, although it's not exactly the exact same talk, because I refine it after every session, after every presentation. I will maybe add in a slide or remove a slide depending on the feedback that I've had from the audience. But ultimately what I start the year off with is a repertoire of presentations, 3 or 4 presentations that I can cycle through, I can perfect and I can nail completely with my delivery. Also means that when a CFP, a call for papers, comes up at the very last minute and maybe there's an hour left to submit that call for paper for the session, for the conference, that I have something available. I'm not scrambling around. I'm not trying to redesign a new presentation because I want to attend that session. Now, obviously, there is a case for building new presentations and not making it stale, because it can get quite stale if you are delivering the same presentation, 4 or 5, maybe even 10, 30 times a year, and no one wants you as a presenter to get bored, never mind your audience getting bored. But being able to, pull out a talk and be able to perform that and give the best performance that you can and share your knowledge to the best of its ability for your audience is something that is important as well. So build up a bunch of talk tracks and refine them over the year, and just to try and build on that, share your knowledge, and again, try and reuse content that you are creating for those presentations into different formats, into blogs or videos, so that you can again extend your audience. So something that I have learned quite recently is consistency, building a plan and sticking to it. Building a consistent plan and sticking to that schedule can really help your audience numbers grow and also your stress from getting too high. I try and release a video every Wednesday and every Friday on my YouTube channel, which means that yes, I do have a lot of video content creation to do. But if I'm sticking to that schedule, I know when things have to happen. I'm not scrambling about on like a Tuesday night trying to get this video ready for a Wednesday, but I have a plan, I have a consistent schedule that I'm working towards. And that means that not only am I being a bit more organised, a bit more planned with what I'm trying to do, so I'm taking a lot of stress out of my daily kind of tasks. I know where I'm going, I know what my diary looks like or my calendar looks like. I'm also building a schedule that my audience can follow so that they are familiar with, Wednesdays and Fridays, there's going to be a new video from Sarah. So I'm going to maybe dedicate some time to look at those new videos and see what she's talking about and see what she's sharing. I know from my point of view as an audience member as well, there are several YouTubers that I follow and I look forward to their schedules because I know that their videos are going to come out on a Tuesday and a Friday, where one of my YouTube favourites does. He also potentially releases a video on a Sunday, so I'm always keeping an eye out on a Sunday for that notification to see if that content's there. And that way you're just building that affinity and that interaction with your audience. But if you have that schedule, if you know what your targets are, then you can also reduce some of the stress from your day as well. So you're not scrambling at the very last minute and going, oh no, I've forgotten a video, my audience is going to be let down. Try and communicate, trying to keep up to date with that consistent schedule can really help you build your content, build your audience, and stay on target for whatever your goals are. Now, one of the things that you may know you may be aware of when you're creating content is the metrics. Things like Google Analytics to understand the page views and who's referring traffic to your blog or your website. YouTube throw out a ton of metrics and ton of information about the audience, about the time that they view your video, how many likes you get, how long they view your video. It's important to have a look at those metrics, but it's important not to obsess about those metrics either. Try and understand them, try and look at patterns. I consistently release videos on a Wednesday and a Friday because I was being told by YouTube that my viewers are most on YouTube on a Wednesday, so I thought I'd take advantage of that, and that has helped a little with my consistency and with growing my numbers as well. So try and understand those metrics to make advantage of what you're doing. You don't want to be releasing content at, say, 3 in the morning on a Sunday when you've got nobody within your audience watching the video. That might be counterproductive because you'll get disheartened by the lack of views. Whereas if your metrics are telling you that everybody within your audience is currently active on a Tuesday at 9 AM, try and release your video maybe an hour before so that, there might be more chance of your audience actually viewing the video. So look at those metrics and understand what's happening. Also understand if a blog post or a video doesn't get any likes, doesn't get any views, doesn't get any shares, because maybe you're going down the wrong content. Maybe there's something wrong with the way that you've created that bit of content, or maybe it's just not something that people are interested in. Whereas if you look at another video or another blog and it has like 6,000 views or thousands of reshares on Twitter and stuff like that, then potentially that's a really popular category. So maybe you need to look at recreating or building on that content. I know I've had some success with videos talking about Microsoft certifications. So in my pipeline for videos, I am going to be talking more about the certifications that I'm doing. So I'm going to be challenging myself to set more certifications and add to my tally of certifications and exams, and then sharing that journey with my audience as well, because that's a popular topic when I look at my metrics. So look at those metrics and understand the trends, understand what your audience is enjoying, what your audience is not enjoying, and use them. But please don't obsess about them. Please don't obsess about, I've just really did a video or I've just really did a blog. I need to go and check after 5 minutes to see how many views or reshares or how many visits I've had to that site. Try and keep focused on creating good content and consistent content, because then your audience will follow you. That will come. Please don't obsess about them, because it can drive the wrong type of content and the wrong behaviour from you as a content creator. Talking about metrics, it's important as well to ask for feedback. Now, I have a team of other cloud advocates at work who can review my content and give me feedback on whether I'm, doing the right things, or if there's something I could change. I know some of my colleagues have given me tips and tricks around creating some of my weekly update videos outside, suggested some equipment I could use or things I could do to try and, improve those videos. And that's been useful because it's made me think about it. It's made me look at my content objectively as well. I've also had people give me feedback around presentations and use that in order to build on it. I'm not saying that everything that I do is perfect and 100% and it can't be improved. So please do ask for feedback. If you have a trusted colleague, maybe even your mum or your partner, they might not necessarily need to understand the content. So a lot of my technical blogs and technical videos, my friends and family may not understand because they're not in the computing industry and they don't understand that. But they can give me feedback on whether, the audio was good quality, whether my positioning on the screen was good, whether the view was nice, things like that. I often have people read my blogs who are maybe not technical, who don't know anything about computing, to understand the story and to understand if I've missed off something that made sense. So if I'm talking in acronyms completely without explaining them, then I might be missing something. So look for that feedback, whether it be from a trusted peer or whether it just be from friends and family, to understand, are the screenshots viewable? Do they make sense? Those kind of things can really improve your content. Just baby steps at a time, and then eventually you'll get to where you want to be in terms of quality. And yeah, the feedback is always useful as long as it's constructive. So pick someone you trust to give that feedback, but someone that will also be critical to you as well. Now, my last tip is around building beyond the content, learning how to be a better writer, learning how to be a better video creator, learning how to edit videos better, learning how to maybe use social media to amplify your content. There's a whole host of things that you can do beyond the actual creation of the content. I create a lot of technical content. That's my passion, that's my job, that's what I talk about. So I invest a lot of time learning how to be technical. So I upskill myself, I set lots of certifications, I try new things, but I also need to learn how to be a film producer to a certain degree, because I do a lot of video content. So I have delved into understanding things like video microphones and lighting, and how you can make your videos better, and how you can zoom into videos in post-production, and how you can change colours and things like that. I've also learned SEO, so search engine optimization, for my blog. I've understand which platforms are better, how to scale images, how to deliver content across content delivery networks, all that kind of stuff, as well as also taking some writing courses. So I've kind of gone back to school to understand a bit more about telling my story, how to write better, how to be more grammatically correct. Things like that can again enhance your content. So learn beyond what your topic of discussion is. Mine's technical, so I go outside of my comfort zone and learn how to do all of the things that surround my content and make my content better. So definitely think about how you can invest in yourself to make yourself a better content creator, a better storyteller, to communicate to people of all ages, of all skill levels, and yeah, think about those things. Hopefully this video has been useful and I've given you some tips and tricks to try and think about being a content creator. Please do like and subscribe to this channel if you've enjoyed this video, and hopefully I will catch you in another video.